Good evening and welcome to the Midlands Basketball Association fixture between Munali Suns, the defending champions, and Red Arrows Basketball Club. Both teams currently on a winning streak. Red Arrows enjoying its form at the moment, and of course the defending champions also coming off a winning streak, but not really playing to the standard and level and composure that we expect to see from a team that is talent stacked at the moment in the league. The name is Wenson Mavoro, and of course with my colleague David Musonda here, Coach D, Magic, veteran, coach, player. If I started talking about what this man has achieved in the basketball world at the moment, I think it will take us the whole day and rob us of the opportunity to talk about the spectacular matchup that we're about to witness this evening here at the Nasdaq Arena. But nevertheless, I am with the legend himself, and it is a privilege to be with you, David, this evening.
Thanks, Wendy. Yeah, like you alluded, today's matchup sees Red Arrows coming in with no loss in the league at the moment, and then Munali Suns have got a loss. So this is one game to look forward to.
No, Red Arrows lost once to Buffaloes.
Oh, they lost, yeah. So
yeah.
It's a 1-1. It's a 1-1 affair right now. Mm-hmm. Yeah, so it's a massive game, and we'll see what both teams have to offer. You know, talking about their starting five, you know, right now Munali Suns have got Jared, Muzo, Ndama, Baby Police, and Children. Looking at the starting lineup right now for Munali Suns, I believe that they want to match up with the speed of Red Arrows, and having Muzo, who's more composed on the ball, and also they're looking at the maturity of Muzo. But when it comes to the rest of the guys, I think they want to match up with the speed.
Yeah, so talking about speed, Red Arrows on the attack, but unfortunately Michael Munali there couldn't convert for Red Arrows. A young team playing very fast-paced basketball. Good pass there from the veteran player himself, and that is no other than Naboth Sinkonde, who has been with Red Arrows for as far as I can remember. One guy that brings quite a lot when it comes to the Red Arrow arsenal: defense, experience, and offense, and just basically leadership. Munali Suns starting this game on a very good note. Brilliant pass there from Sinkonde. But finally we get a basket from Red Arrows Basketball Club, and it is no other than Jeremiah Sakala who converts for the Airmen. It is a 5-2 here at the Nasdaq Arena in Lusaka. Musonda there for Munali Suns, off to Gerard. And let's talk about Gerard a little bit. Baby Police there with an attempt, and he does what he does best and converts. It is 7-2. But coming back to Gerard Motwa, we've seen lately, even before the injury of Chipo, who has started off the bench this evening, that should be a basket for Red Arrows. Gerard, in my opinion, David has been on an impressive run with regards to individual play for Munali Suns.
Gerard at the moment, as you've alluded, has become, you know, looking at where he's come from and where he's at the moment, his growth in basketball has been exceptional, especially this season. You know, looking at the composure that he's showing on the ball, and you know, just the maturity, the level of, you know, command with the ball, and just, you know, not necessarily living up to, you know, the dribbles and, you know, playing for the crowd. At the moment, he's showing a lot of maturity, which is something which is actually very, very important.
Yeah, true to your word, and I honestly agree with you, because Gerard at the moment, we've seen him improve in the sense that being a point guard, you know, a position that you have played. Gerard there makes an attempt, unfortunately fails to convert, but Chole picks the rebound. Chole tries his luck, but Red Arrows are very alert in the pen. It is now Michael Munali who gives Bright down with the basketball. Bright coming things down for Red Arrows. Sinkonde, the veteran himself, with the basketball. Sinkonde sees an open lane, charges in and fails to convert. Baby Police gets the rebound. Now that Duncan Chishala, one of the I like calling him, or I like classifying him to be among those, each team, David, has that player who is an unsung hero. And that is the kind of basketball that, in my opinion, can be affiliated to Duncan. He's one guy that, he doesn't have those spectacular plays, performances and all that, but is one guy that does the much needed job, the donkey work, the defense, the rebounds, the screens. That's your man.
Indeed. You see, going back just the breadth of basketball, we talk about fundamentals. Look at the exceptional players in the world. What they have at the moment is the exceptional fundamental techniques when it comes to basketball, and that's Duncan. Duncan is one simple player that's going to give you the needed result because he's fundamentally sound. And this is something that players out there need to understand. Let's not jump the gun. Let's learn the fundamentals. And then from there now start building. So,
spoken like a true coach, David here. The importance of fundamentals in the game of basketball to all the young players, including players of this beautiful game called basketball. You cannot do away with the basic fundamentals of the game. We are currently streaming this game on various social media platforms: Litovia Facebook television page, Material Magic Basketball Club Facebook page. We are also on the Prism Africa, and we are also streaming on ZB Blogs Sport. Red Arrows there converting. It is now 10-6 baskets here at the Nasdaq Arena. 6 minutes to play. Munali stands on the attack. Chole drives inside and manages to convert on that beautifully executed layup. Sinkonde manages to connect. Bright Champo there. One thing that I've noticed again, David, is that Munali Suns in this encounter have an advantage where matchups are concerned, as I have seen both their guards and their forwards dominating on defensive and offensive rebounds. So what can Red Arrows do coming into this encounter undersized in comparison to their opponents?
Yeah, so looking at the game plan for Munali Suns right now, I think what we are seeing is where they've recognized to say, okay, these guys are undersized. So they're pushing the ball a lot in the paint, which has paid dividends looking at how many baskets they've gotten. With Red Arrows, I believe the aggression on defense should play a factor, because looking at the size when it comes to matching up baby police and all that kind of thing, it's a thing where when the ball gets to the post, they need to start looking at double teaming. Yeah, the guy playing defense on baby police needs to front, and the help side has to be on point. So this is something that the coach for Red Arrows, Coach Mbulo, needs to look at, to say, right now these guys are pushing the ball in the paint. We need to start double teaming. We need to have that perfect rotation on defense, so that we have the rotation, we have the double team, and strip the basketball from the forwards. But with the way the game is going, it's not yet lost. I believe Coach Mbulo will definitely make those adjustments.
Bright Champo on the drive, fails to convert, but as usual, his teammate was right on hand to be able to help, and that is Mark Inambao, who just managed to put that 2 points back. It is now 14-11 baskets here. Both teams at the moment starting not on a very bad note, but of course not in their usual style of game.
I would like to give Red Arrows the credit here, because looking at the matchup and the size and looking at how much they're fighting with the scoreline, I believe their game plan is working. Their game plan is definitely working, because this is just a 3-point game, and they're taking the game to the current defending league and national champions. So this is something very, very impressive.
Sinkonde there for Red Arrows. Unfortunately, Sinkonde fails to convert, and it is Gerard Mwetwa with the rebound on the attack from Munali Suns. He decides to go all the way, but unfortunately, again, he couldn't convert. Red Arrows on the attack. Baby Police on the block. Harrison Banda there, denying Michael Munali an opportunity to give Red Arrows a 2 points play in order to reduce the deficit to 1. But as it stands, it is 14-11 here at the Nasdaq Arena. Chipo making a substitute there for Munali Suns. Rebound there by Mutepuka Tatenda there for Munali Suns. Chipo getting his first touch. 1-2 there. Baby Police fails to convert but manages to secure. Magic page. So it is timeout here at the Nasdaq Arena in Lusaka. Red Arrows Basketball Club is taking on Munali Suns, the defending champions of the Zambia Basketball Federation, who are destined for the Basketball Africa League later this year. And we have 3 minutes remaining on the clock, 3:44 seconds to be precise, and it is still 14-11. Now, David, coming back to the game, styles of play, Red Arrows is known to be quite a fast-paced basketball club, and that usually makes it very difficult for other teams to catch up, for other teams to be able to comfortably defend these, airmen despite their size. And what they like in size, they often make up in speed, skill, and also just intelligence on the court. Is it the game that we're seeing this evening, the fast-paced game, or is Munali Suns at the moment managed to ensure that Red Arrows is playing at their pace?
If you look at the numbers right now, I believe Munali Suns, when it comes to offensive rebounds, they're not really doing a great job. Right now, Red Arrows are able to run in transition because they're actually containing Munali Suns, boxing them out, getting those rebounds and getting into transition. So this is something that Munali Suns, they need to look at to say, for these guys to run, they need to get the defensive rebound. So Munali Suns at the moment, they're big guys, they need to start getting in, picking up the rebounds and getting those second chances. So this is something that Coach Conrad and Coach Harry, they need to look at, emphasize, tell the players to say, these guys are a good transitional team. For them to run, they need to get the basketball. And they need to start controlling the offensive rebounds, getting those second chances.
And when we talk about, Munali Suns, it is not just an ordinary basketball team. We have 2 national team players on that particular roster. We have Harrison Banda, who was a forward for the Zambian national team. And we've got Chipo Musongo, who was also a prominent feature, who quite displayed what he's capable of, playing at the highest level on the continent, representing Zambia at the national team on the point guard position, particularly in a game against Mozambique. And you have also other guys on the team that were equally given an opportunity to try out for the national team, but unfortunately couldn't make it. So you're talking about a team coming into this fixture that has the talent, the experience, and the bragging rights, so to speak, to be called champions. But again, coming back to Red Arrows, this is a team, David, that came from the Bantam League, from the B League, into the Super League. And when they came into the Super League, one statement that they made to everybody else was that they're not like any other team that before them just came to become whipping boys of the Super League. They announced their presence, they showed what they were capable of, and they made a statement that they're here to stay. And so far as we speak, they've actually managed to beat what you would regard title contenders for this season in Matero Warriors Basketball Club. So this, ladies and gentlemen, despite all the accolades that you can attribute to Munali Suns, Red Arrows are an evenly matched team for Munali Suns this evening.
Talking about Red Arrows, this team has been playing together. This team has formed, this chemistry that even when you see them play, you can see to say as in these guys have come a long way. So right now, Red Arrows, they might be undersized, but it's a well-oiled machine when it comes to team chemistry. This is something that,
team chemistry. I like that, team chemistry. And if I can maybe just extend this conversation a little bit to what we've seen happen in the NBA, David, one thing that has singled out Jamal Murray and Nikola Jokic, the current NBA reigning champions, is that they have extraordinary chemistry that we've seen super teams lack and fail miserably in one of the best leagues in the world, which is the NBA. So indeed, Coach D, when you talk about chemistry, you cannot really underemphasize the role that chemistry plays. Muzo with the basketball, pulling on a hezzy there, but good defense there. Baby Police working inside the post, fails to convert, tries to pick his own rebound. Gerard with the rebound. Talk about the defensive.
Do you think that's the right call?
Bring me out to speed. What's the call there?
He scored the jumbo.
No. He got the ball.
He called, the referee, William, just scored for a jumbo.
And you see, this is what we keep talking about all the time. Like, our referees, I think, need serious refresher courses.
Indeed.
They need serious refresher courses because some of the calls, even just lay people fail to actually understand or to find logic in them. 17-13 are the scores here at the Nasdaq Arena. Red Arrows on the attack. Red Arrows fails to convert. Bright Champo! Now, when you talk about Bright Champo, he's one of the prominent offensive and defensive go-to guy for Red Arrows Basketball Club. And this guy amazes me of his, with his ability to play beyond his size. It doesn't matter who's guarding him. It doesn't matter who he's guarding. He just has the strength, the intelligence, and the ability to take you on. Who said big men can't run coast to coast, David?
There goes Harrison Banda, showing us his ball-handling skills. Very, very interesting to see a big guy run the floor like that, taking the ball to the rim and getting the foul. This is something that, a lot of people don't know about Harrison, and today he's shown us to say he can dribble the basketball.
Yeah, he's got more tricks in the bag.
Yeah.
And talking about showing more tricks in the bag, if you look at the current trajectory of basketball world over, is that basketball is becoming a positionless game. So the demand for skills that we've seen Harrison Banda display at the moment are actually becoming quite prominent in the game, and those that wish to play the game at the highest level have no choice but to make sure that they acquire and work on such kind of skills. It is 18-16, a 2-point game, 2 minutes 11 seconds remaining on the clock. Munali Suns are still in the lead, and we've seen substitutions there from Red Arrows Basketball Club. Duncan there being substituted. We've got Charlton coming back, and Bright Champo with the rebound. Red Arrows still with the possession. Bright Champo with the ball, pulls up for a three, and he fails to convert. Champo hassles for the ball. What a beautiful!
Oh my God!
Ladies and gentlemen, the game of basketball has just begun here at the Nasdaq Arena, and the fans are loving that trickery from the gentleman Michael Munali of Red Arrows.
Talking about Bright, look at the defense he's putting on Baby Police. We're talking about somebody who's undersized but really understands the assignment. This is a guard that's guarding a national team forward, Baby Police, and Baby Police is actually struggling getting the basketball to the rim. This is something impressive from Red Arrows.
Let's talk about the substitute. Bright on the attack, and Bright manages to book himself a trip to the foul line from Munali Suns here. And ladies and gentlemen, the crowd is loving what they're seeing at the moment. This encounter is beginning to give off some life that we all expect. And David, number 8, Chishala Musonda. I had a conversation earlier on with the technical bench for Munali Suns, and I'm meant to understand that the gentleman hails from the Copperbelt province. He has recently joined Munali Suns as a new signing. So we're yet to see how he's able to contribute to this particular defending champions roster.
Talking about players from the Copperbelt. I believe right now, Chishala Musonda, this is one aspect of the game that he needs to understand when it comes to Lusaka basketball. If you look at the Copperbelt, Lusaka basketball, I believe...
Beautiful play there, David from Bright. Wonderful read. Go ahead.
So right now, the Copperbelt, the gap between the Copperbelt basketball and the Lusaka basketball draws down to the technical aspect of the game. In the Copperbelt at the moment, I believe, the technical side of the game is a bit, lack of a better term, is a bit behind. So this is something that Salam Sonda has to accustom himself to. You know, he needs to understand the technicality of the game. You know, in Lusaka at the moment, Midlands Basketball Association, you know, it's more on the technical side. So this is something that, you know, we are yet to see if he's going to accustom himself, you know, to adjust to, you know, coming into, you know, playing more set plays, feeding in the post, you know, getting that perfect shot. This is something that, you know, we are yet to see how he's going to fit in. So I believe, you know, looking at the 2 minutes that he's given us, it'll be interesting to see.
Fans there here at the Nasdaq Arena loving this game as usual. It is packed with the game of basketball. David, there's no weather. It defies all weather because basketball is obviously one of the best games that we have in the world. And as you can see, everybody there wearing all kinds of interesting coats. And I'm sure that is what we'll be likely seeing, you know, all kinds of, you know, people like calling them bombas, you know, the bombas, all kinds of bombas. We're going to be seeing all that. One of the prominent guys there in the, you know, Zambia basketball arena. So right now it is 22-20 baskets. Red Arrows in the lead for the first time in this particular encounter. So far, so good. The game delivering to the expectation of the crowd and of course the technical capabilities of the teams that are leading. I mean, of the coaches that are leading these teams. That is Coach Josambolo and of course Coach Harry and Conrad. And from another stands, again, we've seen Chipo being inserted into the game. This is a gentleman that missed, I don't know if it's 2 weeks or a week of games.
Two weeks of basketball. 2 weeks of basketball,
so he had an ankle injury and we are seeing him coming back there. Chipo losing the ball after trying to locate Baby Police with the basketball. 2-point play. Great quick start there by Red Arrows, and it is Charlton with the basketball playing point. And George puts for a three. That is the sniper for Red Arrows Basketball Club. And he is no other than Evans.
You know, one thing about Evans, you know, when he used to play for Buffalo's B, he's well known for his shooting abilities. Like we've just seen, you know, this is one boy that you don't have to sleep on. He's going to kill you on the 3-point line. So with Munali, they need to pay attention to him. So he's one boy who's going to give you that outside presence. So he's a sound player.
Defensive tenacity of Red Arrows, ladies and gentlemen, over there. Beaten on a break, but every man recognizing and realizing that they are on assignment. And this is one thing I love about Red Arrows Basketball Club. It doesn't matter who scores more points. It doesn't matter on that particular day who seems to have the offensive rhythm. They seriously take their defensive assignments at any given time.
Indeed.
George there fakes, pulls up for a 2-point, fails to convert.
Look
Charlton!
at that.
Ladies and gentlemen, Red Arrows! This is what we came to see, David. This is what we came to see.
This is what we call chemistry. Knowing where your player is. Knowing
Sakala with the steal, the gentleman that just gave us a one-handed jam. Mr. Charlton with the basketball. Charlton there. Jeremiah!
Look at the passing.
Man, Red Arrows is playing beautiful basketball at the moment. Ladies and gentlemen, this is the Midlands Basketball Association fixture between Munali and Red Arrows Basketball Club. And what you just see, the spectacular offensive sequence from Red Arrows. Baby Police! And look at the guy guarding Baby Police. Talk about defensive awareness. Charlton, the smallest guy on the floor, not allowing Baby Police, who is the second biggest on the floor at the moment on both teams, not getting it easy to the basket.
This is what they call hot. Right now, what we are seeing from Red Arrows is hot. They're not giving up attitude. And this is something that, you know, it's just amazing from this team. Undersized, but they're able to challenge. Whatever is being thrown at them, they're able to withstand. So this is kudos to Coach Mbulo. This is remarkable.
Munali Sands there. Munali Sands on the rebound, Cholwe. And that is a challenge that Red Arrows Basketball Club will have to deal with this evening. The issue of size, which apparently is a comparative advantage for Red Arrows, for Munali Basketball Club. So like you earlier indicated, David, the issue of boxing out, closing out, ensuring that all the men that are off play, that they put themselves in a position where they can rebound that ball and put their opponents in a position that will make it very difficult for them to be able to get that basketball for second chance points.
Yeah. So right now, Munali Suns, they've looking at the size on the floor, I think they're more concerned with the offensive rebounds, which it's paying dividends. Like we saw on 2 possessions, they managed to get the rebounds. There goes
George, the sniper. Oh, I beg your pardon. Evans, the sniper.
Look at David.
Good steal. Good anticipation. Jeremiah takes it all the way. And here is the basket. Ladies and gentlemen, it is 32-26. The Airmen are in the lead at the moment. Can they pull a surprise of the season by making sure that they defeat the defending champions?
Look who's Baby Police. Look at the size advantage that Baby Police
and they're making it difficult for him to post in the paint.
So hard.
Defensive discipline. Look, another steal. Good anticipation. Brilliant execution from Red Arrows Basketball Club. Mr. Charlton pulls for a 3. And he fails to convert. Cholo gets the rebound from Munali Suns. Ojuku with the basketball to Jason. The Dutchman on the drive. Dutchman fails to convert. Jeremiah seems hurt. Look at the aggression by Munali Suns over there. Look at the aggression by Munali Suns. It doesn't matter. They are doing everything that they can to ensure that no easy basket is allowed in the paint.
Talking about the defensive, the last play, Wendy, I believe when there's a head injury, even in soccer, referees are supposed to stop the game. Jeremiah got hit in the head. That's not something serious. That's not something that we expected the referees to say, we need to stop the game. But I don't understand why they allowed the play to go on. This is something that referees, they need to start looking at to say that's a head injury. That's something they need to start saying, we need to protect players.
Brilliant observation there, David. And to be honest with you, again, unfortunately, not to be anti-referees, and I'd like to make it very clear to the people that are watching this live broadcast right now, we are not in any way anti-referee. We respect their job. We need them. We appreciate their service. But at the same time, we will always point out the very little things that we see need attention, such as what you just raised. A head injury cannot be taken lightly. George pulls for a 3. Sniper, ladies and gentlemen, gives us 3 for 3 from behind the arc. It is Evans for Red Arrows Basketball Club, 35-27 here at the Nasdaq Arena in Lusaka in the Midlands Basketball Association regular season fixture. Defending champions up against the Airmen.
Look at the size of the person that just got the rebound. The smallest guy on the floor. Right now we've got Chelton and Ephraim, the smallest guys on the floor. And those are the guys making steals. Those are the guys picking up rebounds. This is something that, as a coach,
the sniper. Oh my God.
Yeah, this is something as a coach you don't teach. Sometimes attitude and self-belief just needs to come from a player. This is what we're seeing from Red Arrows. The self-belief, the no giving up attitude.
I love the point that you have elaborately expressed, David. The issue of self-belief. Earlier on, we had a debate where we were talking about whenever a team does not get the expected results in a basketball fixture, is it the fault of the coach or the fault of the players? Others say it's the coach of the fault, others thought it's the fault of the players. But at the same time, of course, there are so many factors. It's usually on both sides of the equation. But coming to a point, the issue of self-belief, I feel this is sometimes what we mostly see lacking in the majority of players nowadays. The issue of just being in a position to say, look, I don't care how small I am, but this guy is not going to have it easy on me. doing the little things that the coaches teach them, boxing out, you know, principles, ball movement, and all these little things.
You know, talking about these very things. Look at that. Talking about these very things. There are certain things that players need to understand. As a coach, you cannot teach attitude. This has to come from a player. Yeah. So you cannot. Discipline is something that a player just needs to have. As a coach, as a player, they need to understand these things. And that's what we are seeing from Red Arrows. These guys have come in with a positive attitude, knowing they're playing the defending champions. Right now, Red Arrows, if you look at the league standing from last year, they weren't even in the top 4. But look at the way, the attitude they've come in with. Playing the league and national champions and taking the fight to them. Not giving up attitude. You know, a lot of teams, they need to look at Red Arrows and emulate what the players have.
So it is still 35 to 29 baskets here. 4 minutes 51 remaining on the clock before we head to the halftime. And it is Sinkonde with the basketball for Red Arrows, trying to cause something. And Ephraim gives it to the sniper, who drives, heads it back to Sinkonde. Sinkonde, unfortunately, there drove, but couldn't find anybody to give the basketball. Again, good defense. Look at Charlton. The amount of pressure that Charlton was able to give. And those of you that are watching us right now, you are at liberty to enjoy conversation with us right now. We have Kennedy Mtonga, who says Red Arrows are fouling too much. It will haunt them later on in the game. And John Waitolo watching us and says, Titamba, we appreciate Bululu that you are watching with us this afternoon.
You know, talking about Kenny Mutonga. This is Kenny Mutonga from Hawks, watching us all the way from Mungu.
And Bona Kenny, Hawks today lost. Where were you?
Hey,
Hawks needed you.
Kenny Bwanji.
You should, in fact, as you are coming to Lusaka, Kenny, bring us some rice, eh? We need some rice, sir.
We need some Mongo rice.
We need Mongo rice there. Chipo Musongo with the basketball, and Chipo manages to convert. Now, David, again, going back to this young man, 20 years of age, for Munali Suns, point guard, emerging point guard, being groomed right now for national duties. I haven't seen him play his usual game, and that begs the speculative question in my mind: is he really 100% okay? Because you and I know that this is not the Chipo that we know when he is at his best.
Yeah. No, I believe the psychological part when it comes to injury hasn't yet settled in, because, you know, there's that thing where when you get injured, even though you're feeling okay, but, you know, there's that, you know, that thing that lingers in your head to say, if I make a wrong move, I'm going to go back. So I believe this is just something that he needs to fight. He needs to fight and just get, find his speed to say he's healed. He needs to get back in the game. Oh no, that was an unsportsmanlike play. I know to say I'm not the referee, but that push on Jason, I don't understand how the referees missed that.
Good defense there by Munali Suns, and Ojuku converting there on a fast break point. And Munali Suns beginning to find their defensive rhythm here, making it very difficult for Red Arrows Basketball Club to be able to find themselves offensively. Again, defensive stop there for Munali Suns, a 3-on-1. It is again Ojuku himself, the man that is always ahead of every offensive charge for Munali Suns most of the time in their games.
Are you watching the same game, or Munali Suns have become so physical to a point where they're getting away with a lot of pushes?
Exactly, they are getting away with a lot of pushes, and that has destabilized Red Arrows at the moment, who are unable to execute their beautiful spin there from Bebe Police. And almost, but couldn't quite. It just had to rim out. Ojuku there. Bebe Police with the rebound. Red Arrows with the steal. It is now Bright Champo all the way.
How is that not a foul?
Bright jumper finds Sinkonde. Sinkonde drives and he converts. It is, ladies and gentlemen, 39-36 basket here. It is the defending champions here trying to assert their authority through physical play. But unfortunately, they are unable to break through and penetrate the defensive stubbornness of the airmen. In this encounter, David, one can confidently assert that Red Arrows are not only good at flying planes or shooting guns as a defense force for this nation, but one thing they can do is defend very well on the basketball court, shoot extremely well through events, and of course defend.
You know, coming into this game, I believe most fans didn't expect this. You know, it was something that, you know, oh, Kenny, we were reading your posts. Zambian ndira muntu wanga mongo rice
and fish. I love the combination and the fish, Kenny. Good one, my man. Good one, my man. Please spread the word and share the link. Let everybody come here and enjoy the game of basketball here at the Nasdaq Arena. You were saying something, David, earlier.
Yeah, most people when coming into this game, even I believe Munali fans when coming into this game, they didn't expect such a response from Red Arrows. This is something that, you know, even the fans out here, if you look in the stands, if you ask a lot of people, they would say no, Munali stars, you know, definitely looking at the size and though they're going to have an easy run. But kudos to Red Arrows for putting up such a game. This is exceptional basketball.
We are getting served indeed, David, to a spectacular game of basketball between the men in uniform, Red Arrows, the Airmen, and Munali Sons Basketball Club, the defending champions. We have now veteran Timothy on the floor, and Gerard Metwa is back. Jason, the Dutchman, maintained, and Cholwe there. Good layup there from Cholwe there, finding Gerard. Gerard pushing forward, and it is Charlton on the defense, making sure that Gerard doesn't have it easy. Good pass there. Unfortunately,
great
Joseph Mbulo there couldn't stop the quickness of Ojuku, the man that earlier on had said, if you watch him closely, he is ever in the front of the offense for Munali Sons at any given day, at any given time. Those of you that are watching us via the YouTube page, you can also let us know where you're watching from and what you think about this interesting game right now that I can assure you is interesting and exciting to watch here. This is a matchup. Look, I love the fact that this is the last game that we're having David here. It's not a boring game. It's an interesting basketball game. It's an evenly balanced matchup.
Indeed. I agree with you 100%. This is something that, you know, not even the coaches from Munali Sons expected to say Red Arrows. I know to say Red Arrows are coming in to put in a fight, but, you know, this kind of basketball they're playing, you know, their composure, you know, just everything they're doing right now, it's something that is so remarkable. And I believe this game, we just have to wait and see till the last quarter.
By Champo there, managing to offensively take things in his own hands. And I find that particular call pretty interesting from the referee Clement, because the person that's blocked, true to his description, did not really raise their hands straight. You know, their hands were somehow horizontal, and usually on a block, if your hands are not straight challenging the ball, the referees half the time would normally give the call against the defender.
But now looking at the very call itself, you know, you see we had Trust who was right underneath the plate. And now the referee that called was on the blind side. So now we know this call begs to we beg to differ with the call, because the referee that was in a position to make that call didn't see anything wrong. So like we said, accountability. This is something that referees they need to work on.
Indeed, David, and I agree with you. It is 41-37 here. Red Arrows Basketball Club still in the lead. And we have less than 30 seconds to go. Sinkonde with the basketball. Sinkonde finds the sniper. Sniper pulls!
Oh my God!
Ladies and gentlemen, it is in pop net. Evans, number 10.
Evans!
Red Arrows. The man is on fire. We need the fire brigade in here, David. Somebody call fire brigade in here.
Yeah. The boy is so hot. many
Tyson
blocks.
blocked by the same guy.
By the same Evans.
Woo. Gerard Metro with the steal behind the back, and unfortunately Cholwe couldn't quite convert on the last second opportunity for Munali Suns Basketball Club, who are trailing here. It is, ladies and gentlemen, a 7-point game, 44-37 baskets here at the Nasdaq Arena. Halftime in the Midlands Basketball Association regular season fixture in Lusaka.
And right now we are halftime. Talking about international basketball, Wendy, our under 16. I don't know if you're aware, but they were supposed to go to Tunisia to play basketball, and what we got at the final day, which was so surprising. We had a situation where they did an MRI, and it came out to say some players were actually above 16.
Is it for the boys or girls?
For the girls.
Okay, so as we talk about this, ladies and gentlemen, we will be serving you to some pictures of some fans, and right there in the picture in yellow, that is the General Secretary, Yvonne, and seated next to her is Milken, a basketball coach,
competition secretary,
and also the competition secretary within the hierarchy of the Midlands Basketball Association. And quite interesting names and faces that you're able to see, coaches from different teams. Also, Coach Lish over there, and also what we're able to see, of course, is various people exchanging notes over this interesting encounter that we have been talking about this afternoon. It is Munali Suns versus Red Arrows Basketball Club. Arrows still in the lead.
Imagine that.
Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to the Midlands Basketball Association regular season fixture here at the Nasdaq Arena, and it is packed. Right now, we are seeing quite a couple of basketball funds in the house getting ready to be served with the spectacular matchup between the Airmen and the men hailing all the way from Munali, which is in the eastern part of the greater city of Lusaka. The scores so far, it is 44-37 baskets here, and so far this game has been nothing short of exciting and interesting basketball, characterized by tenacious defense, sagacious plays, and also, you know, the both teams showing what it takes, you know, to maintain their winning form. Red Arrows is coming into this matchup with one loss to Green Buffaloes, and Munali Suns is coming in this matchup with one loss to Matero Magic. So it is the battle of the best teams so far in the Midlands Basketball Association male category. Those of you that are watching us via social media platforms, ZBA Sports blogs, we have noticed quite some interesting conversations going on over there, and all we can say is we appreciate your presence, and we want you to tag and call forth as many people as you can for them to be able to witness this exciting game of basketball this evening between Red Arrows and Munali Suns. So as usual, let us know where you're watching from and what you think about this particular basketball game that has had the crowd exhilarated here. And for you to know that a game is good, you know, you just get to see that people at halftime often get to discuss nothing but the game of basketball. Red Arrows, and it is, and again, look at the person challenging Cholwe on the rebound. Sinkonde is shorter than Cholwe, but successfully challenging on that rebound.
Indeed, indeed. This is something that, you know, this is something that we keep emphasizing. Just having the heart, the belief to say you're gonna do it. You know, it's just so amazing watching, you know, how Coach Mbulo has, you know, groomed this team. Looking at their fighting tenacity, it's amazing. It's amazing. Gerard with those beautiful handles, but couldn't compare to the last possession.
It is Michael Mwale who manages to secure that foul against Munali Suns Basketball Club, and it is Red Arrows Basketball Club. On the floor right now is Michael Mwale wearing jersey number 6 for Red Arrows Basketball Club, and in 15 is the veteran himself, Nabot Sinkonde, and we have the sniper, the man with the hot hand here at the Nasdaq Arena. And for those of you that are looking for marriage, Joseph, jersey 10 for Red Arrows, has the hot hand. So try your luck by commenting on our Facebook page and our various social media platform, Prism Africa on YouTube, Matero Magic Basketball Club, ZB Blogs Sports, and of course Litovia. The veteran Sinkonde launches a 3 and it finds the back of the net. 1 minute played in this encounter so far, and for the first time in the game, it is a 10-point game. Red Arrows commanding the lead.
Who would have thought the defending champions being down 10 points in the third quarter? You know, if you had asked me at the beginning of the game to say Red Arrows would be leading by 10 points in the third quarter, I would have said no. This is just short of amazing what Red Arrows are doing at the moment.
So Jeremiah there needs to be very careful for Red Arrows Basketball Club, because he's the tallest and biggest guy that they have, and so far he's the only one that can match up with Baby Police. So he needs to extremely watch those fouls. And a brilliant play as usual there from Chipo Musongo, who was able to find himself. And on the ZB Blogs Sports, we've got quite interesting conversations there happening between the people that are enjoying this game. And I love, you know, the conversation on head injuries. Quite some great insights there from Richard Mwenda, Kahembi, and all the other guys that are live on this particular platform. Please keep the conversation going. We are enjoying learning from you. And of course, Lennon Kapinga, who's enjoying the game all the way from Nairobi, East Africa. Lennon Kapinga, we welcome you, my man. We appreciate that you are watching this broadcast, and we appreciate your thoughtfulness. Munali stands on the attack. Choloe fails to convert, and Jeremiah makes a very good pass to the sniper, who this time around gives Red Arrows a 2 points advantage, adding to their 47, bringing them to 49. It is a 9-point game, 49 to 40 baskets here. Chipo Musongo with the ball. Can he work something for Munali Sands? Moves off the skipper, and oh my God, he traveled on the play, and the referees didn't see it. Why bounce that ball? Why bounce that ball, Cholo?
You know, this is something that, you know, I believe we need to work on with the Zambian officiating.
Like, trust was right there.
Yeah.
Chipo got the ball. I mean, Musonda got the ball
and
immediately shifted his pivot.
Yeah. So this goes to say, you know, as a referee, what is it that you're looking at every time you're starting, right when you're looking at the play? Are you looking at the top part or the bottom part? You know, as a referee, these are just some. Oh, that was a clear foul.
That was a clear foul. And David, I agree with you. And you could see the frustration from Chipo.
Yeah.
But kudos to him for having the intelligence and the strength to be able to make sure that he takes that ball in. The sniper pulls for a 3, ladies and gentlemen. Oh! Rims out! Munali Sands on the attack. Chipo Musongo with the basketball. Communicating with Muzo there. Baby Police calling for the ball. Chipo trying to work something out. Chipo killing the bounce and finds Ndama. Ndama there finds Muzo, who decided to post. And I think this is something that can work for Munali Sands if they strategically implement this type of play. Their players are, in fact, all of them are bigger than Red Arrow's guards. So if you have Ndama and Musonda posting, you obviously have an advantage with regards offensive chances.
Indeed. But yes, still talking about the posting of Musonda. If you look at Baby Police, I believe he's not really reading the play. We're giving Musonda, because right now, Baby Police, you know, by the look of things, he's not actually giving them what they need in the post. So what he can do right now, if, you know, Coach Conrad is actually seeing what's happening, is Baby Police needs to be the one facilitating the passes to the big guards who are posting the likes of Musonda. So Baby Police needs to spread out the floor, play outside the three-pointer line, and he's the one passing the basketball inside.
Beautiful rejection there from Ndama. Baby Police with the rebound, and he converts from Munali Sands. It is 49-45 now. 6 minutes, 8 seconds remaining on the clock in the third quarter. Munali Sands aggressively playing and of course showing some spirit and fight.
Right now, Munali Sands have switched their defense. They're now playing a 1-3-1 defense, which I believe Red Arrows are finding it hard to believe and to beat. So this is something that Coach Mbulo has to look at, because, you know, looking at the two possessions that they've just had, they've struggled to, you know, to beat a 1-3-1 defense.
So it is now 49-47 2-point game, and unfortunately there Michael Mwale couldn't convert from beyond the three-pointer. It is still Red Arrows Basketball Club, and talking about the coach making the tactical read to be able to calm the dominant rhythm that we've seen Munali Sands begin the third quarter with. Coach Joseph Mbulu has just done exactly that by calling a timeout. There are some of the fans here at the Nasdaq Arena enjoying this beautiful game of basketball, braving the weather, by the way. For those that think it's actually, you could see my good friend over there trying to create some warmth. But hey, we appreciate those that are physically here who decided to brave the cold, and the beautiful plays that we're seeing in this game, David, are not disappointing, but they're actually helping us who are here to forget that it is actually very cold in Lusaka, because every after now and then people are on their feet just screaming and expressing their joy and excitement over a few plays. On the ZB Blogs Sports page, I can see one of the veteran basketball players watching here, and that is Gary P. Mwewa, and he's obviously joining in on the conversation with regards that injury that you had pointed out on Jeremiah from Red Arrows Basketball Club in the head. And of course, Tito Njovu is watching but too scared to comment, because obviously we know that Munali Sons humbled them. So Mr. Tito Njovu, sir, we see you, we appreciate your presence, sir.
I believe Tito right now is focused on tomorrow's game, looking at the loss he just came back, they just came from. I believe, he's composing himself, getting ready for tomorrow's game. So Tito, yeah, you better keep warm, because tomorrow we need your A game. We need those knees.
Yeah. Beautiful defense there from Mark Enumba. And what a daring pass. Bright Champo there looking for Sinkonde on that high lobbing pass.
I believe Munali Stars right now have figured out, what Red Arrows are doing. Because, Red Arrows, the start of the two quarters, they kept attacking the rim. And, this 1-3-1 defense has limited their, driving options to the rim, which is something that, the Red Arrows players, they need to work on, because, sitting and shooting the basketball won't get them, the desired win. Especially, looking at the fact that they keep missing almost half of the, not even half, 70% of their shots. So they don't have to settle for that shot. They need to keep driving to the rim.
But again, there, beautiful defense there from Munali Sons Basketball Club that made it very difficult. And it is a shot clock violation. Munali Sons, as you were indicating, beginning to utilize their size to close and cloak the paint, and at the same time having their guards like Muzo and Chipo and Ndama using their length and movement to be able to cover the lanes. Ndama there on the drive, and Ndama fails to complete the layup, but picks his own rebound. That is what that number 6 young man can do with his length and his abilities. He can give you that in a game. Bright Champo tries to work something out, but unfortunately it's a travel. Coach Mbulo there calling, making a substitute there, removing Sinkonde and bringing back the man Charlton himself. Do you think Charlton, the combination of Charlton, Evans and Michael, will be able to somehow break the scoring deadlock that Red Arrows have been held to at the moment? Ndama is competent, and unfortunately his 3-point attempt is an air ball. It is Red Arrows' possession.
So looking at the change at the moment, bringing in Charlton, I believe Coach Mbulo is looking at, bringing in somebody who's going to, run the floor, attack the rim, and, give Munali Sons, that question mark to say who's going to stop this quick guy. So I believe, let's wait and see what this sub has, what Charlton is going to bring to the game.
So let's keep interacting. You can simply like the Facebook pages where we are currently broadcasting the live Midlands Basketball Association regular season fixture between Red Arrows Basketball Club and Munali Sons, so that you do not miss each time we televise live games here. We will be doing this throughout the regular season up until the championships. Therefore, you are at liberty to share the stream. Good fight there. Jumbo, ladies and gentlemen!
The high-flying Jumbo right there.
Making a statement, asserting their authority, asserting their size, their competence in the game. I'm talking about Munali Sons coming back in this game. It is now 54-49. Munali Sons in the lead. Will Ndama repeat what he just did? Unfortunately couldn't. Good fight there by Chipo Musongo. Good fight there by Chipo Musongo.
And I believe the frustrations of Red Arrows are actually showing at the moment. Right now, they need to calm down.
So now, what do you do? Now, David, let me tap your mind as a coach in this instance where you were enjoying a comfortable lead, everything was working, players were doing what was expected of them. But then again, the beginning of the quarter again seems like is something different. In this instance, as a coach, what do you do? And we would like to know what really runs in your mind.
You just need to keep reminding the players, because right now, you know, what was working for them in the first 2 quarters, they've stopped doing that. What was working for them was the transition, attacking the rim, you know, keeping Munali Suns moving. Right now, Munali Suns are settled into a 1-3-1 zone defense, and Red Arrows are failing to move the basketball. They're failing to attack the rim. This is something that they need to remember to say. Even though we are faced with the zone defense, we need to keep attacking the rim. We need that presence in the paint. We need that, that fight.
Size obviously there, proving to be an advantage for Munali Suns Basketball Club as they managed to get 2 points off those attempts. It is Michael Munali who hands it over to Charlton. Charlton tries to slice his way inside, but unfortunately couldn't quite connect on the layup. Muzo finds Ndama, and Ndama unfortunately fails to make something with the basketball. Maybe could have been patient.
Yeah. Wendy, there's something that always puzzles me. When something like I even saw this in the first quarter. When you're driving in, and then there's a bump. I don't understand why referees always have that no call rule. From
Ndama! Almost
Lord have mercy,
giving us a two-handed jam here, and the crowd is loving it.
Yeah. You see, this is something that if the referees do not call a blocking foul, no a charge, then
and then there's a bump. There's a bump. So two possible outcomes, David. What you're saying on a bump should be, it's supposed to be either a blocking foul or an offensive foul.
Yeah.
There's no ignoring a bump on a game of basketball.
Indeed.
Because clearly somebody's standing in your way, in your lane.
Yeah. So that's just something that I've seen, a lot of times referees, they have this no call rule, which I just fail to understand.
Okay, so here we've got Chilanga Rollers basketball team enjoying the stream, and they are saying they cannot access the stream, or rather the scores, and they want us to slightly that is actually Anesu, Budi, Murikupi, Makadire, where are you watching us from? Okay, so Anesu, we're just going to do that exactly. We will try and talk to our technical guys to move the scores a little bit up so that you can have a clear vision of the scores. But I can inform you that it is 59-49. Tables have turned here at the Nasdaq Arena. Munali Suns is back in the lead and commanding a 10-point lead. Jason with the rebound comfortably gives it to Chipo to work something out. 1 minute 30 seconds remaining on the clock, and Red Arrows intercept a pass. Sinkonde finds Michael. Sinkonde to Bright Champo, but unfortunately Munali Suns has played beautiful defense. Muzo finds Baby Police. This is basketball, David. What did I see?
Baby Police.
Somebody got arrested in the paint.
Making a statement.
An arrest warrant has just been issued in the paint. Somebody call a lawyer. Baby Police has just, ladies and gentlemen, served us with a double-handed jam. It doesn't matter who's there. He is Baby Police, the man with the authority, the constable of the paint.
Indeed. That dunk was ferocious. Baby Police.
Indeed ferocious, David. My God. I like this game. 61-50 baskets, 11-point lead, a minute remaining. It is Red Arrows inbound, an opportunity for the airmen to work something out on the paint. Michael decides to drive and take it all the way, but again, he couldn't utilize his options. The defense of Munali Suns, ladies and gentlemen, in fact, as they say, the sun sets, or rather, the sun rises from the east. And David, could this be an eminent rise of the defending champions in this fixture that will decide how the fourth quarter may be played?
I believe Coach Mbula at the moment, he's analyzing, looking at how bad they fared in this quarter, because right now I think they've only scored about 4 points, which is so unusual of Red Arrows. So I believe they'll make the necessary adjustment. The game is not far-fetched. We're only talking about 11
block there.
Yeah,
beautiful defense there from the captain himself, Muso.
We're only talking about 11 points. So this is something that they can come back from. So I believe, Red Arrows, they still have a chance. They just need to maintain the self-belief, the self-confidence to say, guys, we're still in this.
What a roller coaster, ladies and gentlemen. What a topsy-turvy game that we're seeing this evening for both teams. Being down by 10 and all of a sudden in a couple of runs and stretches coming back, Munali Suns taking a 10-point lead. And as Coach David indicated, this is not the end. We have 33 seconds remaining on the clock before we could wrap up the third quarter. Ndama on the move for Munali Suns. Ndama finds Chipo, and Chipo decides to come things a little bit. Ndama with the ball. I love the confidence that this young man is showing in this game. Chipo pulls up for a three, and it goes in. Chipo Musongo for Munali Suns, adding more bruise, or rather adding salt, as they say, to the wound. David.
Red Arrows, looking at right now, what's happening at the moment. These turnovers it's just so unusual of Red Arrows failing to pass the basketball, because they've made so many turnovers off, passing, making that wrong pass. This is so unusual
of Red Arrows. Yeah. Like they say, it is pressure that makes diamonds.
Indeed.
So can we see what will the pressure in this encounter bring out of the Airmen? Like you say, this is not a team that you sleep on. An 11, 12-point lead is nothing to Red Arrows, because they can come and simply turn the tables. But right now, David, we have quite an interesting conversation happening from our social media platform. Martha Yamboto Mutema here says, Harrison just made a statement. And Martha, boy, it was so clear, it was so bold, and it was so ferocious here at the Nasdaq Arena. The double-handed jam from Baby Police himself. And Kahembi here says, Baby Police just caught a body. Of course, he did catch a body, because that's what the police do. They don't catch trees, they catch bodies. Now, watch the banter here, David. Chilanga Rollers basketball team says, we are cheering for Munali Suns because they did not beat us by 50. Wow.
Chilanga Rollers.
Did I beat you with like 49? Was it 48? Was it 30? But anyway, Chilanga Rollers, we appreciate your interacting with us this evening at the Nasdaq Arena, where everything is happening. The sniper money. Okay, I don't know who the sniper money is at the moment. There, David again, looking at our fans, taking some pictures, videos, making sure that they do not miss a moment of the spectacular game of basketball that we are watching here at the Nasdaq Arena. This is why we left our warm homes, David, to come here and enjoy the game of basketball, looking at what Travis, the young man, jersey 6 Ndama, can do on that one-handed jam. And of course, Baby Police making a statement reminding everybody that, hey, I own the paint. This is what we came here for this afternoon. We are now starting the fourth quarter and final period in this game of basketball. It is 63-51 baskets. Red Arrows still trailing the defending champions Munali Suns here at the Nasdaq Arena, and possession is for the Airmen as we start this encounter. Charlton finds Bright Champo, gives it to Jeremiah. I don't know why Charlton didn't shoot.
I know, and
I think Charlton needs to try and shoot.
Yeah, he can actually shoot. He's got an exceptional shot. My God,
that's the heart. That's the heart.
That's the heart right there.
Like they say, height over height.
Yeah, smallest guy on the floor,
but doing that things. Chipo Musongo there from Munali Suns. Chipo Musongo trying to find his mid-range, gives it up to the skipper himself, Muzo. Travis, the young man, giving it. Baby Police there, out rebounded by Sinkonde. It is Michael who goes in for the two. Charlton finds Champo. Champo tries to go in, but manages to at least secure a foul.
You see, this is what they lacked in the third quarter. If you look at the transition right now and the way they're sharing the basketball, sometimes they're oversharing, but the basketball keeps moving and they're getting results. This is what we expected Coach Mbula to do in the fourth quarter, and he's actually done it. Reminded the players of what they can do and what they can achieve when they move the basketball. So with the fans watching us, wherever you're watching us, just give a comment, tell us where you're watching us. I can see Martha Yamboto watching us all the way from Livingston. Martha Yamboto, it's great to know that Livingston is tuned in. There you go, Red Arrows putting in the pressure. Right now we're talking about, right now Red Arrows have come in, they want to close the fourth quarter with the bang. So this is something that, I believe Coach Conrad has to look at. Dama with the three, he misses, and Red Arrows right now, applying pressure, and the golden quick baskets. Interesting enough, the game is down to 6 points. What is Muzo going to do? Looking at the experience that he brings in on the floor. He's running the pick and roll with Baby Police, and it pays dividends. This is something that, looking at the experience on the floor with Muzo and Baby Police, this is something that they need to run the most, the pick and roll action. Baby Police, excellent finish, excellent ball movement. Kudos to Chipo for the good court vision. That's excellent pass.
Red Arrows, David, there beginning to show some life.
Indeed. Red Arrows at the moment have come in with that killer instinct, wanting to run. Oh my Lord, that was a clear foul. That was a clear foul.
But also, again, when you talk about understanding your roles, responsibility and strength on the court, I feel in a game that is so defensively competitive and physically challenging, such as this one, Jason the Dutchman is the last man that you expect to bring up the ball for Munali Suns. I feel Muzo can help at the moment. They've got a 10-point lead, and I would rather you have possession, you secure it properly and execute accordingly, than rushing forward and end up turning the ball over in that fashion.
Yeah. Talking about possession basketball. Looking at the Zambian league at the moment, most teams I feel are struggling with possession basketball. Right now, Munali Suns are up 10 points, and during the last quarter, 7 minutes to go. I believe this is the right time to start playing possession basketball. Every time you secure the basketball, there's no need to run. You don't need to rush it. All you have to do is make sure you bring up the basketball, cross the center, run something. I saw when you stepped out, Musonda and Baby Police, they ran a pick and roll action, which actually worked, which is something that I believe they need to work on. Start improving on that. Looking at where these guys are heading, they're heading to the Basketball Africa League. This is something that we want to start seeing when they go out there. The pick and rolls, having all those backcourt cuts, everything. Let them start showing us what they're going to do when they go out there to represent Zambia.
Definitely, and the teams that they will be playing at the Basketball Africa League will be highly technical.
Indeed.
They'll not only be skilled and physical, but they'll be very technical. So I agree with you. But here's an interesting thing there from Ian Nyambe, who has some, I don't know if I can call them harsh words, but he says Red Arrows have run out of ideas. Well, let's see. The game is still on, 6 minutes remaining on the clock. And we've got Kennedy, who says, Kennedy Mtonga, our guy, saying half-court basketball proving to be a problem for Red Arrows. They need to push the ball up the floor quicker before the defense sets. Transition was working best for them. And Toms says, let's go boys, baller baby. So we don't know who these boys are. maybe it's Munali Suns or Red Arrows. So Toms, let us know who you got in this game.
You know, right now, Red Arrows are struggling with ball movement. This is something that they need to work on. You know, their ball movement has become so stagnant, and you know, they are facing so many challenges. Now that's a foul.
Exactly.
How is that not a foul?
Going back to earlier, I mean to your earlier point, the issue of ensuring that whenever somebody is driving in, you see, he took the lane clearly, and the defender. What's the call there?
Foul
Okay.
on, yeah, foul
It is
on,
still,
yeah.
it is still Munali Suns basketball, and I think that's correct.
Yeah.
And that speaks to the previous call that Michael Munali for Red Arrows was not given. The defender didn't set a charge. Okay, he was contesting and bumped into the guy that is charging into the paint.
Right now we're seeing a battle between Chipo and you see. This is something that the referee should have prevented.
Exactly.
This thing was brewing from just the earlier foul. You know,
Okay, that was unnecessary from Chipo Musongo.
Yeah.
I mean, a game can become physical. Look, a good basketball game is always physical. Show me a game, a championship game, a good game that fans can speak about long after, you know, it is played. It is always a very interesting physical game. But what we expect from the young man at the moment is to begin to show character.
Indeed,
You know,
indeed.
these guys are being physical.
Yeah.
The same way that Chipo's teammates in the paint talk about Muzo, Baby Police, Jason setting those hard screens. We've seen Arrows players bumping hard into those good, hard, legal screens
Indeed.
from Jason.
Yeah.
And they're not fighting back. So really, the best that Chipo could do is engage the referees. Look, I know that guy is putting pressure, and his pressure may be illegal to some extent, but let him engage the referees.
Indeed. No, even talking about the whole, you know, we're talking about Chipo, who's a national team player. This is something that he needs to absorb. He needs to show maturity. I know to say, you know, the Red Arrow player was being over aggressive, but he needs to weather the storm. Be the bigger person. Just weather the storm. Show the boy the maturity that Chipo has, which is, yes, you can foul me, you can do this, but I'm able to, you know, withstand whatever you bring at me.
And kudos to our referees for handling that situation professionally. And maybe what we would have expected to see, I don't know, is a take, in your opinion, David, too harsh in that instance?
No.
Especially on Chipo, who literally, I don't know if it's a punch or I don't know exactly what he threw there, but obviously his hand was thrown with an aim and an intention to land on somebody.
Yeah, he literally went for the head.
Rejected there by Tatenda Mutapuka.
Yeah.
Jeremiah from Red Arrows there rejected. 4 minutes, 30 seconds remaining in this ball game. Chipo Musongo there almost dropping.
Almost
Chipo
breaking
takes it
the
all the
ankle.
way. Exactly. Baby Police continues to terrorize the pent. The constable has awakened in this basketball game. Can the airmen be able to stand their ground? Right, jump on the attack, but good defense again. Joseph the sniper. Unfortunately, Joseph couldn't quite connect with Ephraim Nyirenda for Red Arrows. So far, it's working well.
Yeah.
You know, the defensive and aggressive approach that Munali Suns and you know, this is what, for me, I love basketball games like this, David. These are not to take anything away from Munali Suns, but these are the defending champions. They have certain comparative advantage, so does Munali Suns. But what makes a team, or what separates a team from another in a tight encounter like this, you know, where physicality is concerned, not obviously score-wise, is the ability to take advantage of the comparative advantages that you have. You know, the size, the physicality, the skill, the authority, and that's what we're beginning to see there from Munali Suns. And Red Arrows, unfortunately for me, they're not utilizing what we see them use to beat bigger teams like Green Buffaloes, like you know, Matera Warriors, and all these other bigger teams that they've managed to go up against and emerge victoriously. Their transition good basketball.
You know, it's
Baby Police.
It's
Baby Police and Tatenda.
It's looking at what's happening at the moment. Ephraim, I know to say, you know, his physicality is needed in the game, but I think he's lost composure. You know, he's more focused on, you know, having that, you know, hard play, and he's forgetting to say he's one person that's needed on the offensive side. And right now, Red Arrows have lost composure. Right now, it's more of who's going to give the hard foul. This is something that Coach Mbulo needs to address. They need to get their head back in the game.
True, David. And those of you that are watching via our YouTube page, Prism TV, Prism Africa TV, we also give shout outs to you and of course acknowledge and appreciate your presence. Munali Suns is still in the lead. And ladies and gentlemen, Muzo, the captain for Munali Suns, continuing to add and bruise the wound of the airmen. Red Arrows, who are sitting on 57 baskets to 76. 2 minutes, 30 seconds remaining. Bright Chompo. Unfortunately, it is an air ball. Everything at the moment, David, like you were saying, working in favor of Munali Suns. But can Red Arrows bring their head in the game? This basketball game is not over. 2 minutes remaining, 76 to 57 baskets. We've seen a lot of things happen in a basketball game. T-Mac scored, is it 12 points in
13 points.
13 points in how many seconds?
In that
was it like 10 seconds or 12 seconds?
Yeah, something
exactly.
Like that, yeah.
So the man was able to pull up, you know, that enormous points in that limited time frame. So really, in the game of basketball, anything can happen. This is a test indeed for the airmen, Red Arrows. What happens in a game of basketball when what works for you apparently has been figured out by your opponent and can no longer work? How do you respond? That is where we see the character and the true maturity and nature of a team in a competition.
Yeah, right now, Red Arrows, they need to find something that's working for them. I know to say, you know, there's this thing where they say let's be physical, but you need to be physical and smart at the same time. Yeah, right now we're seeing the physicality of Red Arrows, but the smartness of their plays, we cannot see it. So this is something that I hope Coach Mbulo has spoken about, and you know, players have come in with a different mindset.
Gerard Metwa back in the game for Munali Suns, gives it to Mozo, the captain, who immediately finds Baby Police. And good job there by Sinkonde, the veteran for Red Arrows. And Michael Mwale decides to go and force his way among the towers and couldn't convert that layup. Gerard finds Mutepuka. Mutepuka lays it clean. Good find there by Gerard, the point guard for Munali Suns. Charlton now on the charge for Red Arrows. Michael finds Evans. Evans to Michael. And unfortunately, referee Trust catches Evans napping there. It is the possession for Munali Suns Basketball Club here at the Nasdaq Arena in Lusaka. 1 minute 58 seconds remaining on the clock. Munali Suns comfortably sitting on 78 to 57 baskets here at the Nasdaq Arena. David, I'll again come back to you with the question you talked about in this game. I want us now to advance this conversation away from the Zambian basketball, but looking at the Basketball Africa League level of competition that we witnessed in the just ended season. And Munali Suns being a team that is destined for qualification to that prestigious and biggest continental basketball showpiece that we have at the moment on the motherland. Do you think that what you're seeing at the moment, I know dynamics are different, the competition is different, but from a preparatory level, what are some of the things that you think Munali Suns can begin to work on to be able to have a chance to compete at that level?
Right now, you know, being privileged and, you know, being there a couple of times in the Basketball Africa League, I believe Munali Suns at the moment have a lot of work to do, because, you know, right now, looking at the championship team, with the way, the way they've displayed themselves today and the games before, I believe they've got, a few X and O's to cross off the board. Looking at the technical aspect of it, the approach to the game. At the Basketball Africa League, we are talking about being technically sound. And this is something that they need to work on. You need to go there knowing to say you've got a working five. You cannot gamble for you to get the proper five where you have maybe 10 rotations for you to get your proper five. There's no time for that. The teams out there are technically sound and they're going to kill you just at the start of the whistle. This is where they need to start working on. They need to start identifying their working five.
So Chongo here, Chongo, our man, watching and saying, let's go Munali Suns basketball team. Man, we miss you over here. We wish your lens was here to capture some of the best moments of this game. The dunks, the blocks, the defensive hassles, the physicality. We all miss you, man. But good luck. Chongo earlier on told me that he is on an assignment at a rugby match somewhere within Lusaka.
Okay.
Yeah, so here someone is asking Duncan Alikuti. He's in the game, but yapia manje, yabuka, as they say. Yapia. So Duncan is very much around at the moment, but of course things have changed. J.K. Jackson says, very impressive. Thank you very much, Mr. J.K. Jackson. Caroline Mutala says, come on, Michael. Obviously, Michael is here. And DJ TOT 2390 says, game time, agreed. DJ, it is game time, and a minute 22 seconds remaining on the clock right now here at the Nasdaq Arena in Lusaka. Midlands Basketball Association regular season fixture. Red Arrows slowly succumbing to Munali Suns' defensive pressure and dominance in the paint. But of course the Airmen don't just call it quits for nothing. They are still in this game as we have less than a minute to go. Jason with the basketball.
Almost took Evans to the floor. He almost sent him to the cleaners.
He put him on roller skates.
Exactly. In fact, that's a very good description there. The dude was almost on roller skates. I thought for a second I was not watching basketball, but ice hockey. George the Sniper awakens. And talking about George David, let me tap your mind a little bit on this gentleman. He's been very quiet in much of the third quarter after having an impressive first and second quarter shooting spree. Do you think that perhaps we could have had more of him involved? Baby police push for a three. Oh!
That would have been something.
Ladies and gentlemen, we've come to the end of an interesting fixture between Munali Suns Basketball Club and Red Arrows Basketball Club, 82-62. Once again, as they say, David, it is, you see, there's this belief that wisdom from the East, but today we've seen that it's not only wisdom, but apparently it's the ability to come back in a game despite a seemingly shaky start by Munali Suns to be able to defeat and inform Red Arrows Basketball Club. But like we say, Red Arrows was also impressive. Red Arrows was also very much, in control of what it is that they came to execute. But unfortunately, Munali Suns was just a better side.
Yeah, indeed. This is Munali Suns at the moment have just shown us their championship pedigree, which is something that Red Arrows lacked. And kudos to Coach Conrad in identifying what's working for them, adjusting the defense and making the necessary adjustment and putting in the right five on the floor to get the win. Patson, thank you for your comment. Patson says, I wish there was a repeat. Patson, we're definitely working on it. We'll definitely work on it, and we'll work on the replays. Farai, no, thanks for the kudos, Farai. Love the commentary, guys. Keep it up. Thanks a lot. So, ladies and gentlemen, we've come to the end of the game. Hope to see you tomorrow, same time at 18.
batteries, yes, see that.